Hello, and welcome back to the 3 at Moon live stream, everybody. It is Saturday, January 22nd, 2022. Welcome to the stream. Happy Saturday. I stream every single day from around 6 p.m. Pacific onward every single night. You can see me here live on Twitch. You can see me afterwards on YouTube. If you're watching me live right now, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are watching after the fact on YouTube, this is our space and alien-themed Retro Roulette. This is episode 9 of our ongoing series, and the Retro Roulette series is simply a series where I've curated themed lists of games that are, all retro games from Atari 2600 to N64. We've got ROM hacks, we've got classic games from all sorts of systems, and whatever game that the roulette wheel lands on, which you can spin for 420 moonstones at any time, then I have to stop, load up a new game, and play from there. So it's kind of fun. I have a little less control, even though I curated the list of games. I have a little less control over what I'm going to play, and I end up discovering and learning a whole bunch of new things and about a whole bunch of new games very often. So, welcome to the stream. If you're watching after the fact on YouTube, feel free to check out some of the previous episodes. We played games like Space Invaders on Game Boy Color. We have played and beat space-themed and moon-themed Super Mario Bros. 1 ROM hacks. We've tried out Castlevania ROM hacks in this series, and you can also check out the animal and creature-themed Retro Roulette, the food and eating-themed Retro Roulette, and the spooky, horror, and Halloween-themed Retro Roulette, all on my YouTube channel. So today, the initial spin gets us a game I've never played before. I've definitely played the Metal Slug games before, but I've never played this one. This is Metal Slug, first mission on the Neo Geo Pocket Color. The Neo Geo Pocket Color was essentially like a competition with the Game Boy Color at the time and the Game Gear. And it came out in 1999, or this game did at least, so just before the Game Boy Advance was out. And yeah, it's essentially that. It's a Game Boy Color style, like low-res handheld version of Metal Slug. Metal Slug being a game by SNK, who basically are mainly known for fighting games, but it's a fantastic shoot 'em up, run and gun shooter. It's known for incredible animations and stuff like that, so I'm excited to dive in. So we'll be trying Metal Slug first mission on the Neo Geo Pocket Color up next. Stick around. Also, thank you to the recent followers. I just want to do a shout out to Tojiko-san for the resub. Thank you for the Tier 1 resub for 3 months. Thank you to Michelle Butterfield for resubbing for another month at Tier 1, making that a full year of sub. So thank you so much. Appreciate that. Appreciate all the support. Sparkinator, thanks for subscribing with Prime. And thank you for the follow. And also thank you for the bits, Hellgraph Dragon, Tojiko-san. And thank you, Caffeinated Diabetic and Captain Peel Card for the follows. I appreciate it. Stick around, we've got Metal Slug first mission up next. And you can spin the wheel at any time. For 420 moonstones, whatever game we get, I have to play. And they're all space-themed, they're all alien-themed. Hello everyone, you should be able to see me, and you should be able to see the game. Just gonna do this, minimize this, and you let me know if I need to adjust the audio at all. Excuse me. My apologies. What's the setup? Level, normal, easy. Let's do normal. Cool. Rebel Army's weapons R&D facility found. Send out reinforcements. Send Metal Slug and unit of development into battle. What's up, Arthamal? Welcome to the stream. Happy Saturday. Mission: destroy weapons R&D facility ASAP. Good luck. Alright, this is not our first Neo Geo Pocket Color game that we played, but the resolution is the same as Game Gear. The screen size. Here we go. So not quite your arcade style Metal Slug. Still cool animations though, the way that they pass out. Yes, please. Yeah, this is cool. 100% would recommend this already. After playing it for just a few seconds, it feels great. From a control standpoint, as a player. We got booped. We got hella booped. Got him. What is this, Wizards and Warriors? Jumping from tree branch to tree branch? Come on. You recently got a Nintendo Power magazine with a poster? Very cool. What kind of poster? Oh yeah, I grew up subscribed to Nintendo Power. I do know the power of Nintendo Power. It's pretty fantastic. Had a subscription for a while, but in the days of like the GameCube being released is when I had my subscription, not like classic ones. Nice. What kind of poster is it? And what's the game on the cover? Sheesh. Need that bread. Yeah, this is a really cool game. Definitely feels great to play. Oh, nice, a Tasmania poster. We actually played that. I never rented it and never tried it. I remember watching the animated TV show and thinking it was pretty ridiculous. But Tasmania, the Tasmania poster, that's pretty cool. So you got yourself a classic one. Nice, tank time. Very Blaster Master vibes. Yeah, Tasmania we played as part of our viewer request nights when we were doing that on Sunday nights in the beginning of the stream. And actually I really enjoyed it. It was a really interesting way to use Mode 7, the Super Nintendo version. Aside from it being a racing game, I actually really don't think, like besides Contra 3 and Super Castlevania 4, I can't think of too many Super Nintendo games that weren't racing games that took advantage of the Mode 7 chip in the way that it did. Of course, you got the overworld map in Final Fantasy VI. I think there's a moment in Final Fantasy V as well that utilizes it, but I just thought it was a really interesting technique, and it's also kind of an addicting game. It's very fun. Tiny Toons Buster Bust Loose. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the Super Nintendo one, because I didn't play too much of it, or the Genesis one, but I did grow up with the two Konami NES Tiny Toons games, and Tiny Toons 2 was one that we played and beat on stream, and I actually remember borrowing it from my cousin Tyler as a kid, and not bringing it back in a timely fashion, because I was hooked on it. I wanted to see if I could beat it. And it kind of is set up almost like an Adventures in Magic Kingdom kind of way, where you just have, or even like Kirby Superstar if you want that comparison, where it's just a bunch of mini games or a bunch of different stages where you control the characters in different ways. Tiny Toons Adventures 2 is specifically a fantastic game. It's got some great music as well. Highly recommend checking it out. And it's not a difficult game at all, it's just like a fun NES platformer. You always pick the duck. So Tiny Toons 1 is a little bit more of a platformer, Tiny Toons 2 is just, it's like an amusement park. It's taken over by Montana Max. This is great, I love these little helicopter dudes. I have to say, the aesthetic of the sprites. Is pretty fantastic in this. Yes. Amazing. I would definitely recommend this. Oh. Oh, oh, oh. Hold it. This is pretty high quality. There is not a pause button either. I just want to pause it for a second to catch up with the chat. This is pretty cool, I have to say. This is a really fun one. Yeah, Tiny Toons Buster Bust Loose. So yeah, that one I just haven't played it, so I just don't have that nostalgic association with it. You beat Tiny Toons on NES. You always pick the duck. It wasn't really that hard for you. Yeah, I don't think they're difficult games. They're just really well put together games, I would say. Awesome news. You're almost done with Kid Cool. Nice. We're on to the second to last stage. Very cool. No pun intended. Now, what kind of genre is Kid Cool? Is that a platformer? Is it a fighting game? Oh, look at this beautiful... Oh, I'm sorry. Look at this beautiful artwork. This is great. Metal Slug's, yeah, fantastic game. I think their arcade games are great. I played them a long time ago. I think it'd be really fun to do a co-op with someone else and do like me and another streamer going through all the Metal Slug games. So I wouldn't want to I don't necessarily think I'd want to play them one player on stream. Kid Cool is a platformer. Think of Mario 1 but bad. Ooh. When you say think of Mario 1, just the visuals, or is there like any connection in the feel of the momentum of the main playable character in Kid Cool? Because one thing I love about Mario 1 is the fact that you can just, like, there's sort of like a slow acceleration of Mario's speed, and there's a slow deceleration of Mario's speed. So you kind of wind up to build up speed, and then you wind down when you slow down, which is super unique to that game. Like, there's no other Mario game that really does that. So you can use your forward momentum once you build up a lot of speed to get, like, further distance when you're jumping over gaps, like left to right, to be able to clear platforms in an easier way. Pretend Mario 1 puked out Kid Cool. I guess that's one way to put it. That's funny. Awful animations. We've got the retries. Yes! That's what I'm talking about. That's tough. Is the volume okay in terms of the game volume here? Yes! Got the pattern. Ooh. Yes, I'll take them all. The microwave, the alarm clock. Skip through it. That's funny. So Kid Cool has the worst controls in NES platforming history, Arthamal is saying. First off, you can't run until you walk for a bit, and then you pick up the speed. It might sound okay, but there's like gaps sometimes, small gaps, and you're always out of control. Yes. You're now the grandmaster of bad controls from playing that. That's hilarious. Yeah, that was definitely a microwave. I definitely picked up a microwave. I don't know about you, but one of those is a microwave. Yeah, the volume's good? Okay, cool. Thank you. I kind of like that they're rotating between like the tank levels, the on-foot levels, and the plane levels. That really makes this game feel like it stands out. Oh, we forgot to grab the SS there. The screenshot. Get out of here, flying targets. We missed the health. It's okay. Press button at count 0. What? What is happening right now? We're missing the frog, the coffee. What just happened? Metal slug, more like metal hug. No, that was not a metal hug, that was something. Oh my lord. That's what we're supposed to do? We're supposed to just skydive from a helicopter, from a plane, and dodge everything here. Now that's a challenge. Yes! The microwave. No, it's a radio. That was the thing I thought was the microwave. Awesome. Okay. I gotcha. They're like, just don't do it. We died because we weren't moving. No, we just got hit by something. We were supposed to not get hit by anything until a certain time. Oh yeah, guys, let's just wait for this person to fall down and probably get literally every single injury. It's like that early Simpsons episode. Me and my partner have been rewatching The Simpsons, and some of the episodes she hadn't seen, but that early one where Bart he's obsessed with being a daredevil. I think it's called Bart the Daredevil. And he tries to skateboard and jump across the Springfield Gorge. and then Homer stops him. But then in the process, they're like, okay, let's get out of here. He accidentally steps backwards and steps on the skateboard and accidentally takes the leap, but falls and gets hit and has pretty much every single injury on the way down and on the way up. That's definitely a Simpsons moment for sure. I've been really enjoying watching those early ones. I was talking about this in some other streams, just because of the handmade sort of sketched quality, where you still see some of the pencil lines. Like there's just something very fluid about it. And they also didn't shy away from using things like animation smears, which I really love, which are taking one starting frame and another starting frame and creating like a fluid, unrealistic, stretched out or smeared version of the character that would create an extra sort of like elasticity that you see in Betty Boop, Popeye, Looney Tunes cartoons, all sorts of stuff. This is random, but River City Ransom has kick-ass music. It's got some amazing music. One of my favorite games, not too random, it's connected to this game in that it also feels like the way that it feels as the player to control Alex in River City Ransom, which is just super fluid. You feel connected to the character. When you take simple actions like punching and kicking, just there's something satisfying about that from the player perspective. The way that when you beat the hell out of an enemy, like they barf coins, that's something really interesting. It just like all the little elements I think of River City Ransom put together really make it a great game. Being able to pick up trash cans and throw stuff. This has a similarity here. Like they're not similar games at all. They are, I guess, beat 'em ups or shoot 'em ups, like where they're running guns. But there's like a connectivity that the player feels, at least from my perspective, with the actions that are being taken place, like with the shooting, with the punching, like, and a lot of that has to do with the way the character feels. Like when we're jumping here, there's something really, really satisfying with this. I'm not holding a run button to jump or get extra height. And like you, at first glance, this is very floaty. Also, the graphics are great. The ability to like do a sweep of bullets like that by rotating the D-pad from bottom left up and right. You know what I mean? The ability to do that. Like there's a lot of like cool tech that you can do in this that I think is pretty sweet. That's pretty subtle as well. Like there's something that just feels good about this. It's all about the shumps and bumps. River City Ransom has awesome graphics, awesome animation, and awesome everything. Yeah, it's a culmination of a bunch of things coming together. Oh, come on, really? It's like, how many hits is it gonna take? Nice. It's the shumps and bumps. So I don't know if I'm gonna have time. I just have so many things going on with work and the channel, but I was thinking about doing something for February that was gonna pay tribute on my Ko-fi page to some of my favorite, not ranked in any order, some of my favorite NES games. I was basically going to do like a little love letter to the NES, essentially. It's one of my favorite consoles, and if I was going to pick one console to play only games from that console for the rest of my life, I think that would be one of them, if I had to pick one. And I was planning on doing something like that for my Ko-fi page, but we don't get the kind of sugar rush that Kirby does when we eat a lollipop like that. That's fine. But I just don't know if I have enough time. Like, it's coming up close to February now, and it would take a bit of time for me to formulate the list and create the graphics and the things I want to do for this year. So I think I might just postpone and do it do it next year, like February 2023 instead. Oh, we got the game over. Well, we only have a couple more lives, so what do you say, Arthamal? You just spun the wheel. What do you say we finish up the lives? Like once we get game over, we'll swap over to we'll spin the wheel and see what other space and alien themed game that we're getting. Now, this game might not seem space or alien themed, but there's a reason why these soldiers are fighting, and it does have something to do with space. And I don't want to give too many spoilers away for people that do want to play Metal Slug and haven't. The animations are just fantastic in this. Not gonna lie. The rockets are pretty cool. Yeah, like, even just the variety of weapons that you can use, of weaponry. That's really cool. It'll definitely be quicker than doing 3 more stages, because I'm probably gonna die very shortly here. Don't forget your boots. Gotta have your boots. No, we gotta get those boots. Don't forget your boots. Now, is there a run and gun shooter like this on the NES that isn't Contra? Not that I can think of. I guess Batman is a run and gun shooter. If you think about it. The level design here is actually not that dissimilar to Batman on the NES. Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots. Oh, whoa. Great. Pure electrocution. Well, at least it remembered and saves us from a specific location. Talking about animation smears. There's a smear right there. That's funny. We were just talking about those early animation smears. So that's basically just 2 keyframes, like the location where his gun's like this, and then like this. And then they decided, okay, we'll blend them. There's another one. Look them up on YouTube. They're pretty interesting. Especially in classic animation, too. Especially when you're looking them up, and this is great. When you're looking them up and checking out some of the early Looney Tunes ones, they're really impressive and really unique as well. You see it in a lot of games. Symphony of the Night has it. Once you know about animation smears, you start to see and notice them everywhere. But look at the kind of fluidity it adds, right? Like, it adds this interesting fluidity of movement. It's like, well, there's only a few frames here, but how does it look so fluid? Exactly. Oh, whoa moment. I like those emotes. It's all about the hype. Oh, Rocket v Rocket. We played chicken and we lost. I mean, I wouldn't shoot a tank that was shooting a rocket at me with a rocket launcher. That seems a little bit crazy. This is a cool game, gotta say. Highly recommend checking this one out. I might actually do a full stream of this in the future. We got one more life here. Ooh. I think this would be a fantastic game to just do even just like a just chatting stream where we just play this in the background. Honestly. Ooh. Oh. Damn you. It's hard to dodge those tanks. Yo, Daryl. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for subbing at Tier 2. Subscribing for 12 months, a full year. Thanks for keeping that streak up. Thank you for the support, as always. Hey, Nicolette. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Shaky Otis. Hope everyone's doing well. We were playing some Metal Slug First Mission. This is definitely a game I'm going to be planning on doing a full playthrough of. I'm really enjoying it. I do want to do some co-op Metal Slug games on stream. I'd love to play through all of them, but I want to find another streamer to be able to do it. Yeah, we've only been streaming for that long, so thank you for following me and supporting me from the very beginning, and thank you, Michelle Butterfield, as well, for this. sec. I am just creating a lot of ASMR noise for you right now. Intentionally, unintentionally. Who knows? No, I just don't have a device that I create lists in. I like to create written lists because that just works for me. But I do want to do a co-op of the Metal Slug games. I'm loving the music in this game too. I'm really enjoying just the overall experience of the game. So Metal Slug First Mission on Neo Geo Pocket Color is definitely a game we'll be playing in the future. I did finish, Daryl, I did finish Earthbound. We finished yesterday. Or actually not yesterday, we finished it, when did we finish it? Thursday? No, it was Friday. I can't even remember. The last 2 days we did a lot of streams. But we finished Earthbound, Randomizer, and beat Gygas. We somehow accidentally skipped ahead to level 7 and then level 9, if you weren't here for that one. And then also we ended up beating the Crystal King in another stream of Paper Mario. And we played a bunch of Mario hacks and some other space-themed games yesterday. Space Invaders on Super Nintendo, Mario's Moon Adventure, and we beat that, which is a cool version of Mario 1, which just had moon physics. Really interesting. Was Metal Slug a Gorgonite or a soldier? I'm going to say one of the small soldiers for sure. Can't wait for the full playthrough. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It'll definitely be fun. I feel like this will be a really cool game to just experience in full. It doesn't look like it's got multiplayer, so that'll be cool. Just to do a solo campaign. Can you eat that paper, please? No. I mean, what? Paper Crumbles should be a song title. Well, you know what? Tomorrow at 6 p.m. we'll be live with Paper Crumbles on Nintendo 64. Taking on... We'll be on the road to take on Bowser, which I'm really stoked for that. We basically have beat all 7 chapters. We're spinning this wheel right now. It's happening. It is happening. This is Yonoid Arthemal's spin. We're getting game number 512. Let's see what that's all about here. Huh. Why did it close then? Very strange. I had it open here, but then I guess it auto-closed, so just give me a moment here. Game 512, come on. Yeah, the animations are just very fluid. I'm kind of stuck in, just like watching it. It's pretty cool. Okay, we got it now. It's loaded. Interesting. Game 512 is Star Wars, but on the Sega Genesis. We played Star Wars on the NES, 2 Star Wars games on the NES. We played Super Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, and Empire Strikes Back as part of this series, the space and alien themed games. So now let's dive into another one. This one's interesting. This is a unreleased prototype, a 1993. Actually, January 25th, 1993, so very close to what would that be, 30 years ago almost. It is, yeah, Star Wars prototype on the Sega Genesis. Stick around. Thank you for the wheel spin, Arthemal. This is not the first prototype we played on stream. One of them was Pringles the game, and that's all I'm going to say. Alright, everything's updated there. Okay, we've got Star Wars, but on the Sega Genesis, so it's gonna be real farty. Now we gotta start that over. Now you should be able to see the screen just like I can see the screen, and you can see me and hear me too. It's just a prototype. It's unreleased. Paper crumbles. How many times can I unfold? Wander on lines of blanc and unknown. Wrinkles that show how I grow. A mind after time. The paper crumbles. The paper crumbles. Nice. Alright, so it's up to 2 players. We got the Dune Sea. We have the Pit Monster boss. Tatooine Desert 1. The Sandcrawler. Sandcrawler Interior. Gross. Sandcrawler Interior 2, Interior 3, Lava Beast level, the Tatooine Desert 2, Canyon Obi-Wan, the good old Canyon Obi-Wan. The Canyon Obi-Wan. Bow on today, so you can have the high ground. The Bantha Stage, the Land of Sandmen, Boss Womp Rat level, Mos Eisley. This looks like there's a lot of stuff going on. Mos Eisley 2, Cantina, Cantina Boss, Escape Eisley 1.1, Escape Eisley 1.2, Hover Carrier Boss, Death Star Hangar, Def Droid level, hell yeah, a droid-themed Def Jam wrestling game, Rescue of Leia, Detention Boss, Tractor Beam Core, okay, this is ridiculous, Generator Boss, Death Star Surface, The Trench, oh my god, this is hype. Okay, I have played Empire Strikes Back NES and Empire Strikes Back SNES, and it was very, very difficult. Return of the Jedi was also quite tough. I haven't played the first Super Star Wars though, but it looks like Daryl's suggesting. I'm gonna turn this down just a little touch here because I don't want it to be like overkill for some people here. Daryl's suggesting the Cantina, so let's just give it a shot. 16, okay. Play level. Oh, I'm just coming in here for a drink. Oh, something happened. It's a broken prototype. Who punched first? Who jumped first? Was it Luke or Greedo? The score is just THX 1138, which is the name of another film by George Lucas, and he always made a reference to 1138 because it was the name of where they would go, and it was the name of one of his classrooms in film school. And actually, Spielberg makes those references. A lot of those same guys, Francis Ford Coppola makes those references in his films. I think we use too much force. Nice. I've never heard the song before. Okay, let's try this again. I don't know if I'm prepared for this. Alright. Okay, so he just punched me. This is... wow. Are you just screwed if you jump from here? Okay, so I know how the Super Star Wars games control. This does not feel right. First off, it looks like we're holding the guy from Joust's sword. This is not a lightsaber. This just looks like a jousting sword, medieval times style one. And the control of this is completely different. Exactly, we're holding a lance. A lance saber, a light lance. Lance Skywalker at your service. No, there's just something, I don't know how to describe it, but there's just something like really off about the way we control at the moment. It's not nearly as intuitive or responsive as Super Star Wars is. So maybe this was an attempt for them to do like, this is the Genesis version of Super Star Wars, kind of like how Aladdin had 2 versions. I love that. I'm just gonna take some time to appreciate this dude's face right here. He's having a good time. He's enjoying that cappuccino. And then you got the swamp creature from the Black Lagoon, is just hanging out with Obi-Wan. Or is that Snape from Harry Potter? Who knows? 20 levels of this? Yep. What does that do? Excuse me. I press pause and then I have the ability to just go through a bunch of hex symbols. I'm confused. I guess you could show this off to Sega and be like, it's sort of a game that's complete. It's very weird. Looks like he's guiding an airplane to land. It's right here. Clear the way. Oh, jeez, buddy. It's literally Dracula from the NES Castlevania when he jumps. His beast form. See? And now it looks like one of those otherworldly tournament fighters from Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure. Some really interesting designs of characters here. I think that's Frog from Chrono Trigger. I could be wrong. You got the Tasmanian Devil. I like the designs of the enemies here, though. I'm not gonna lie. Watch out for the ring wraiths. Wrong trilogy. Think, McSkywalker, think. Hello? Remember that time that Luke had to go back in time to make sure that Anakin and Padme met at the Under the Sea Jedi dance? And Biff Maul showed up and made an ass of himself. Hey, lady. I know exactly the Jimmy Stewart voice that you're projecting into the universe, Daryl. Yeah, just like in Super Star Wars, the lightsaber is more effective. Oh, look at this, like, it's craftwork. It's alien craftwork, everyone. So, by the way, we were talking about animation smears. This is some god-awful. This is a god-awful example of an animation smear. That does not work. Like, drawing the frames so janky. Like that one. Like, come on. No. If I was on that design team, like, instantly fired. Or, like, we're gonna have to have a talk. George Boynes. Good old Jimmy Boynes. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, there's, like, whoa, there's too much. I understand, I guess they're trying to get, like, a strobe effect going at the same time as doing, like, a lightsaber. But it just does not work. Just saying. The one alien who's really small is the base man. Yeah, he's the one going, Squidabone. There's a place. Rainbow of love. Look up Rainbow of Love, and you'll know what I'm talking about. He's going. Like, I kind of like the designs of the enemies here, but even their movements and stuff, I feel like this AI is extremely rudimentary, and obviously there's a reason why it's the prototype. Unfinished. You heard an awesome Spaniels tune, and the bassman was shaking the foundation. Nice. Oh, we just got killed by Shelby. Okay. Let's try them out. Does anyone else want to come up with a stage we should try, or we should just go for it? Just go for the Dune Sea. I'm sorry. Is this Star Trek The Next Generation music? They got the wrong sci-fi series. Stage 4. Darth Maul and Jalad at Tanagra. This is like if the Sand People wrote the Star Trek The Next Generation score. Official score. You're Stage 4, in which Doris gets her oats. Like, even this, there's just something janky about the animation. I don't know, like, I kind of like that there's a Monkey Island, LucasArts sort of look to this. It doesn't look too dissimilar to, like, recently, I only discovered these existed recently, but the Indiana Jones point-and-click adventures and the Monkey Island games, like the early ones. There's just something about the aesthetic of the character sprites, maybe, that stands out to me in this. But yeah, the gameplay itself, there's just something, like the camera's not working, like there's some jank going on for sure. I think you see a Klingon. Are you talking about this? Giant forehead. Okay. Yeah. Excuse me, what? Can you view those cinematics? No, we don't got... What are you kidding? We're not done with that. We're not done with that. Remix. Nope. Sorry, folks. Apparently we also have to listen to the Cantina music when we take on the first boss. I love it. We haven't finished the boss fight yet. Ha 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 ha. Joke's on you, we wasted your time, we don't have a game. It's not even unfinished, hasn't even been programmed. Doop doo doo, doop doo doo. Stroke, 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 stroke. Do they have to be unlocked? No way. This is unfinished, there's no way. I'm sorry, what Flintstones as shit music is going on right now? Welcome to Luke Skywalker's Fruity Pebbles Vacation. 64. Yep, we got hydraulics. I don't know if I can spin the wheel. I know that you just spun that wheel, Daryl, but I might not be able to spin the wheel yet. What is this, like, golden music? It sounds like it belongs in Earthbound. Well, Mode 7 was way worse on the Super Nintendo, or on the Sega Genesis than the Super Nintendo. Why is this music so good? It's not even a game, but damn, it's something. Oh, I love it. That's funny. My favorite Star Wars song. Isn't this R2-D2's theme? I'm pressing what I deem to be the acceleration button. It's definitely not finished. They're like, when you go into the pitch, load up the Tatooine Desert one first. Get him in a good mood with the good music. They're gonna back the project. Don't worry. That was a pretty sweet scene. When they listened to Space Funk for 18 hours and just drove across the desert. I love sand. It gets everywhere. Try 2-player. I don't have the second controller hooked up right now, but I will see. Oh, holy shit. Nobody talked about how dangerous it was to walk next to one of these things. I mean, imagine how easily you could get pulled into like the tracks of these sand crawlers. I can totally spin the wheel if you want me to, Daryl. There's just so much content here. It's up to you. Who's the second character? Oh, I don't know. We'll have to see. Indiana Jonah. Indiana Jonah. Was this supposed to be the sandcrawler interior? No, that's the sandcrawler interior. Yeah, this is very similar to, still different looking, but very similar to how the sandcrawler stage looks in Super Star Wars. It also reminds me of Prince of Persia. You picture just a blue recolor of Luke? Like the blue milk? You know, I never like registered in my mind that there was blue milk at the dinner table or breakfast table at the very beginning of Star Wars A New Hope. And they had done that, I guess, to make it look like it was like, this is what the animals here are. This is definitely an alien planet because it's got blue milk. But I never noticed that or registered that as a kid until I was older. It's like, oh, that is blue. They are drinking weird bubble tea without the bubbles. Oh. Luke's trying to hijack the whip. God damn. The cantina music is just used for everything. I love it. Took a while to load that one. Oh, wow. Okay. Now it's a Kaizo. What? Also very weird to shoot in this. You have to press the A button, or press like the C button, and then when you're holding the C button, you have to use the D-pad. Like your feet are planted when you have your gun out, so you just have to use the D-pad to like choose the direction you shoot in. So you have to get used to that, or just not play this game. We were spoiled by the strawberry milk. We just assumed it could be any color. Yeah, we were like, yeah, well, that's just milk. Milk is just milk, dude. It's just blueberry milk, dude. Just chill. I'm just so curious. Okay, let's do 2-player, and let's do Sandcrawler Interior 3. Where's my blue Luke? Oh! Han. Uh-oh. That is not a friendly-looking creature. What just friggin' happened? Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Okay, we're on top of the level where we're not supposed to be. We broke it. Hack solo. Talk about cheesing. Oh, remember this scene? Ugh, I had way too much grilled cheese. Ugh, help me. Way too much grilled cheese. Alright, that's even more dumb. The A button doesn't bring out the secondary weapon, the B button does. And we don't have any ammo. Thanks. Ooh, that soup wasn't good. Ooh. Definitely a lot of unfinished stuff. We're gonna spin that wheel, but we have to end off here. Just shaking his fist at it. You, get out of here. I feel like we need sunglasses, and a Hawaiian shirt, and cocktails, and giant novelty pineapples. All very Star Wars-y kind of things, you know? Okay, we're spinning this wheel. Thank you, Daryl, for the redeem, for the wheel spin. We've lowered the redeem cost as well. It's normally $1,000, or $1,000. Wow, give me real money to spin the wheel. No, it's normally 1,000 moonstones to spin the wheel, and as of this year, we're changing it. It's $420, just like the same cost it is to unlock emotes, modify emotes, and also name characters. So we're spinning it, and we got game number 711. 711. Alright, I have no idea what this is going to be, but it's an NES game called Los Galacticos. So let's do it. Stick around. Okay, here we go. Exactly, the four elements. You got wind with the Nimbus cloud. You've got girth with Snorlax. You've got water. And you've got nature. That song was so good, right? As soon as it stops, you're like, damn. Boop, 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 boop. Beep, boop, boop. Can't do it justice. It's just so good. Like, I would have funded that game based on that song alone. They're like, what's the gameplay? The person that also works for the company, like, works for Sega, and I'm working for Sega, and I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. This just doesn't matter. Here you go. Approved. Can I find that? Well, I can definitely, if you want it, I can find a way to get that off that for you. We're going to dive into Los Galacticos and see what it is. Dang, kid, I like your sound. Have you ever thought about working in the music business? I'm in the music business. Future's looking doubtful. Here we go. This is... Hey, Galacticos, Galaxy, it has something to do with space, alright? This is in here, for whatever reason. This looks like it is a, maybe potentially, an Argentinian ROM hack. Galacticos Production, Argentina. It just, like, it looks like a ROM hack because it looks like they're trying to squeeze in the font as best they could here. But let's just give it a shot. Is it a soccer game? Space soccer? Yeah, exactly. Centerville. A real nice place to raise your kids up. Ahiva, yendo al. Oh, I can't even keep going. Also, terrible artwork. Sorry. It's a little bit loud. Vai ser gol! No! Cool. We want that World Cup in Brazil, come on. Va and continue. Va just means go. This looks like it might be in Portuguese, and it's funny because, yep, it is. And it's funny, actually, you understand what's going on here. It's kind of cool. Being Portuguese, this is like obviously a Brazilian ROM hack, but... Come on. It's got some good music though. There's a lot of Japanese, like almost like visual novel games that are kind of similar to this, like murder mystery games, and a lot of them like detective mystery games. And a lot of them actually, I think the majority of them have all been remade in some fashion on the DS, the 3DS. I think the DS was really, really a big console for those like digital graphic novels and interactive mystery games. This music could have totally been in DuckTales on the NES. Alright. Possible Galactico. No. We actually can't skip this stuff, so... It looks like they drew the outline of a character and then just threw Ash Ketchum's face in the middle. And they were like, I'm not gonna worry about if it fits or lines up with anything. Here we go. Presented my Tecmo. Now it starts. Los Galacticos, Volume 2. Remember that song you just heard? It's back. Okay, chicos. Jugar. Let's play. Con huevos. With balls, basically, is what he said. Pretty sure he didn't say with eggs. Is this like an intimidation game where it's all about conversation during a soccer match? That would actually be hilarious. And you don't actually play the soccer game. You just like taunt the other players like while the plays are happening. The music. Yeah, what? What? Oh my god, I'm controlling... Okay, this is such a weird way to handle a soccer game. very, very strange game. What? Is it tactical? Tiro. Nali, aquí. What? This is amazing. I want Gambetta, which I think is just a shoot. Yep. This is pretty cool. I think just the visual idea of it is really interesting, especially because, like, I've played a bunch of soccer games on NES growing up, and it's just a unique way to handle it. It almost feels like it plays a little bit closer to there's these Dragon Ball Z card-based / RPGs, like action RPGs, that all came out on the Famicom. They weren't translated to English, but they were fan translated, and we played a couple of them. I played a couple of them over the years, but we played a couple of them on stream, and it kind of reminds me of the battle system there. It's kind of interesting. Bijard. Let's do it. Nope. Yes. Come on, dude. Oh, buddy. Shit. Ah, they got it. Los Galacticos! Come on, intercept. Oh, that's not good. None of our players are over there. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, yes! Literally punches the ball out of the way. Their faces are just... I follow a Twitter called Good Faces, and they just have some of the most ridiculous faces you've ever seen in video games, or magazines, scans. The Good Faces bot, and this is basically... This is gold, this game for that. Yes. Oh, that's one of them. That's not us. Back and play. This is actually really cool. Straight in. Please. What? Did they just go for us? Who are we getting rid of? It's always Gil. It's always poor Gil. Oh, you son of a... Corta pass. Dude, it's like some superhero shit, jumping up like that, 50 feet into the air. People are just like, it's no big deal. It's just what people do. Nobody bats an eye. kicking it right back and out too. That's funny. Sure. Damn you. Same thing again. The music in this is great. Oh, penalty shot. Okay. Yes. There's a penalty on their part. That's awesome. I'll take it, bud. Do we just pass it to the opponent? Nice. Good base. Nice. Awesome, we got our second goal. We're getting the hang of it. This is cool. I like the anime style of the whole thing. I imagine it's probably based off a real anime. I know there's a tennis anime, there's an anime about Go. Tabletop game. Getting the hang of it, the passing, even though it gets intercepted and stuff, we're figuring it out. Now remember, we can spin the wheel anytime, or we can do this whole match. Looks like we're gonna win the match. It's just chest to chest to chest. That's funny. Get him. this is... He's getting a clear breakthrough here. It's not good. Get it? Yes. Intercept it. Oh. Yes. We were able to totally steal it. That's amazing. That's what I'm talking about. We're doing well here. It's kind of surprising. T2, let's go. Ugh. Trying to figure out how to do this actual... I think it's Gambetta. It's the only way to do it. But Gambetta doesn't seem to shoot it. Or is it T2? It is T2. To like remove the ball from play, I guess. To T2 to take. So take a shot. Interesting. Pass it straight to number 4. That sucks. Balbo Bagans. We only got 5 minutes left, so I think we're doing okay. Yes. Pass it. Pass it. Right over here. Hey, buddy. Get out the way. Yes. It's a far kick. I knew it. I knew it was going to get intercepted. That sucks. Minute and 30 left. We'll spin the wheel after the match, unless someone wants to use moonstones, but I'm going to spin it either way. So. Welche Haare is it? To kiss it? That's funny. It's in the last second. Okay, we have to go to just take the shot. Time's up. Nice. We won. Con huevos. I love that. That's cool. So really interesting. It's obviously not translated. Really interesting Portuguese language soccer game that feels like the Famicom only Dragon Ball Z games. That's awesome. We're gonna spin the wheel and see what other space and alien themed game that we get. Probably will be the last one of the night. We got 718. Okay, let's see what game 718 is. $7.18. Load for me. It is Star Wars Arcade on the 32X. Now, I did try to run this before and had some issues with it. Let's see if we can get it working. We'll get back to a Star Wars game. We'll try the arcade game. The 32X was really the proper 32-bit games that came out on the Genesis. It was an extension for it. Then they had the Saturn and kind of killed that because they were like, no, forget the Saturn. We've got the Dreamcast now. So Sega just was like pumping out consoles at that point. But 32X, we've got a couple of games for it. We tried to play a fighting game on it before, an animal-themed fighting game. Let's see if we can get it to work. Everything's working pretty okay and smooth right now, so fingers crossed. It will be Star Wars Arcade up next. Stick around. Okay, you should be able to see it and hear it. I have a feeling this might bog things down, but let's just see. This is what happened last time.
Wing pilot.
Yes.
Stand by to receive orders.
Let's do this. Now hopefully this
Wipe
works out
out
okay.
enemy fighters.
Wipe out enemy fighters. I mean, I think so far I prefer Star Fox. It looks like it's working. can't tell. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Okay, cool. If you need me... I was just about to say, if you need me to adjust the volume, just let me know. I think it's probably okay. Wow. Am I supposed to slow down? Is there a slow down button? It is that, okay. I keep messing with the buttons and changing the view, but I'm not trying to do that. Got the double TIE fighter. I always thought that one just looked like flying binoculars. Holy sh... Dorito bombs. Polygon bombs. There's only one left, too. It's me or you, bud. Mission incomplete. I like this version better. Ass. Quite the ass pilot.
Wipe out enemy fighters.
Love a good voice clip. You don't want to go down there. I was never great at these flight simulator style games, although when we did get Star Fox 2 as part of this same series, I think it was like the second or third episode, I was hooked. Really, really enjoyed Star Fox 2. I never really enjoyed the Star Fox games to begin with, but Star Fox 2 was just such a fun game. It had enough like variety in all the levels as well too, different vehicles you could play as or you could control. Got him. Oh man. Oh no. So close we were. You click this expecting to see some puzzle-style arcade games with a Star Wars theme, completely forgetting there's already a Star Wars game. Nice. That would be cool. Star Wars puzzle game. Star Wars Avalanche. Darth Vader's Mean Bean Machine. Yeah, this is cool. This is Star Wars Arcade on the 32X, so it's got 2 modes. It's interesting that we are able to get this to work. We did not get these games to work a while back when we were trying these, so I'm glad that things are working. Also, we played a prototype of Sega Genesis Star Wars, which essentially was like an answer to Super Star Wars on the Sega Genesis, but clearly unfinished, and it did not get us anywhere. It did not even feel like a finished game, to be honest, but it was super fun. What else did we do today? We played some Metal Slug First Mission on the NES. On the NES, or sorry, not on the NES, on the Neo Geo Pocket Color. It's the second Neo Geo Pocket Color game that we've played. We messed around with that a little bit.
Wipe out enemy fighters.
Are you sure? It's good, but it's no Revolution X. I remember you recommended Revolution X on Super Nintendo, and it was awful. I think it was Super Nintendo. Maybe it was Genesis, but it was really awful. But you had mentioned, Henny, that the arcade version is much, much better. Oh, jeez. What else did we play today? We played a few other ones. Metal Slug was super fun. We played Los Galacticos, a Brazilian language anime action soccer game. It was very funny. That game sucks ass. You played it at a Scandia Fun Center in Sacramento back in the day, when you were 20, and from now on you had a new bar for just how poorly conceived a game could be. Yes. Oh. Yeah, Star Fox is much more my jam. Wipe out enemy fighters. You don't want to go down there. Do a barrel roll. It's a trap. Con! Oh, come on. Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, we got so close. We got so close. It's the CIA. You get why the X-Wing is called the X-Wing. Well, why is it called the TIE Fighter? Oh, I see what you did there. Nice one.
Wipe out enemy fighters.
Looks like a bow tie. No, it stands for something else. TIE. As you can see, I'd be the worst person to like ever fly one of these things in real life. If this is a reality, do not rely on me. Sorry, buddy. R2 boop boop. R2 boop boop. Terrible in emergencies, yes. That is exactly what it is, TIE. Terrible in emergencies. Just like me behind the wheel of this. See, there's not even a wheel. That's how much I know about this thing that I'm in. Behind the wheel of this triangle. It's a trap. Are you son of a... You don't slow me down. Like an X-Fighter shooting through the sky. In a battlefield, trying not to explode. Try to slow it down, cause the TIE Fighters are right behind us. And holy shit, we're going to explode. You hired the wrong guy now. I don't even have a degree. I've never flown X-Fighter before this. Holy mother freaking shit. This is difficult. Oh, look, he's purring. You made him happy. We made it on the board, folks. And actually, 9,001, we made it to second. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Let's try the... .32x mode. So that was just us trying arcade mode.
Attention all wing pilots. Stand by to receive orders.
Yes.
Wipe out enemy fighters.
Oh, totally different level. That's an asteroid field. Oh, cool, and it's destructible. I like that. Oh, not all of them. This is pretty wild. This would have been pretty badass at the time when it came out in arcade, too. hope everyone's having an awesome Saturday so far, and if it's Sunday for you, hope you're having an awesome Sunday. I'll be streaming Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, continuing Paper Mario. We'll be doing our last chapter of it, which I'm really stoked for. Stick around, we'll be raiding somebody too, once we're done messing around with that 32x mode here. I had a blast today, discovered a lot of cool games, and I'll definitely be doing a full playthrough of Metal Slug first mission on the Neo Geo Pocket Color, because it's such a fun, intuitive run and gun. I want to play the other Metal Slug games, but like I said, I want to maybe make that a co-op series down the line. It could be really fun. I want to say thanks also to the recent people who have been subscribing, donating bits, and also supporting the channel via Ko-fi. Really appreciate it. We've got an ongoing campaign there where I'm trying to raise money to get a streaming PC, just to change up what we're doing here. Nice. We finally did it. We finally cleared the stage. I want to just change up what we can do in terms of interactivity with the stream, and that can all be done through the campaign.
Wipe out enemy fighters.
We finally got to the second stage. That's pretty cool. Also, thanks to those that have been subscribing on YouTube and following on Twitter, because I've noticed there's been a lot more followers on both sides. And on Twitter, I post every day about what I'm streaming next, so you can always catch me there, and I just appreciate the people that are helping the channel to grow, and I hope you're having a good time hanging out in the stream, as much as I am streaming. Yeah, we got the hang of it. We took out 2, 3. Sorry, Ace. Just got 5 more. Yes. Just one. Just one left. Little double bubble trouble. You just unpacked a new set of paper cones for rolling joints and papers clear. I've seen that. I've seen clear cones.
Wipe out enemy fighters.
Oh, I don't know. As opposed to like hemp, is that what you usually use? Just hanging out. They'll come around. Yes. That was amazing. I'm sorry, that was a perfect maneuver. I like how there are proton torpedoes in this, and there are photon torpedoes in Star Trek. The wrap is just cellulose and water. You still want to know how they made it clear though. You can find that How It's Made episode. Yes. Amazing. Okay, we're killing it right now. I'm sorry. First Google result is cyclone clear cone safe to smoke. Obviously a lot of people feel the same way. I wrap a paper around a chopstick to get that perfect shape that I want. That's how I do it. Oh my lord. It's only 2 more. Come on, we can do this. 20 seconds. Slow down. Yep, we're slow down. Buddy, buddy, buddy. Yes. Beefed. Oh, berry flavor? Nice. Message from Admiral.
Form the Imperial Death Star and wipe out enemy fighters.
Dude, 30 of them?
Look S-balls in attack positions.
Oh shit. Shit's getting real.
They're coming in.
Oh,
3 marks at 210.
holy
Watch
crap.
it, you've got one on your tail.
I am not ready for this. I'm not the person for this. It does a good job of making you feel exactly as scared shitless as Luke was. Holy shit. Oh yeah, no big deal, no big deal. Definitely trained for this. All the stuff we were just doing has prepared us for this, you can tell. Holy shit balls. I'm not so good for this. This is ridiculous. No shields left already, wow. Oh yeah, they just like anticipate that you'll take these guns out. Cool. That's wild. Good old Zob. Remember him? General Zob. Oh, where's it start us from? Can we just dive in where we left off?
Form the Imperial Death Star
Yes.
and wipe out enemy fighters.
Okay, thank you.
Look S-balls in attack positions.
3 leaders standing by. They're coming in. 3 marks at 210.
Henny leaders standing by.
Watch it, you've got one on your tail.
Watch it, Steggle, you got one on your tail. Just drop down just a touch. just don't want it to be too loud, but I don't want it to be not loud enough, you know? Just want that balance. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the raid, Two-Headed Squirrel. I really appreciate it. I don't have alerts right now, and we're playing Star Wars Arcade on the 32X. And the game is ass. What were you playing? Some Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. How far are you in the game now? Where are you at now? I think last time you said that you just got the flippers. Hope you had a good stream. Thanks for sharing your community over here. Today we've been playing space games like we did yesterday, space and alien themed games, so we've actually played a little bit of Metal Slug, first mission on the Neo Geo Pocket Color. We played a prototype from 1993 of an unfinished Star Wars platformer on the Genesis, and now we're doing Star Wars Arcade. We also played a Brazilian language space themed soccer game. This is a pretty intense game. There's a lot of stuff going on too, and it's not easy to... Yeah, hard to hear me? That's what I thought. Okay, that's probably better then. There's just a lot of noise going on. That's better. We don't need all the beeps and boops to be super loud. But yes, we played a Star Wars prototype game on the Genesis, an unreleased one that was a platformer. We're playing this one now on the 32X. I'm surprised we got the 32X to work. And yes, a space-themed soccer game called Los Galacticos. I think the team, or the league, is like named after space. It's not that it was soccer in space, but it was very interesting. It was very anime-focused and actually felt like there's this series of card battle games on the Famicom that are Dragon Ball Z themed. It felt a lot like those, which was really interesting to me. It was almost like a tactical soccer game. I gotta be careful here. So it's a lot easier when we were just taking out TIE fighters in space, and now yes. Now we're in the Death Star, so it's not easy. How long have I played this? I'm probably going to... You can spin the wheel anytime, for sure. But I'm probably going to call this one the last one of the night, just because I've been going for a little bit. I also work today too. Like Saturday, Sundays are no longer my weekends. My weekends are now Thursday, Friday. So we did long stream days the last couple of days. So I'll probably just try to beat this if we can, and then call it a night. Oh, thank you so much for gifting a tier 1 sub to Two-Headed Squirrel. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Didn't have to do that. Also, thank you to Tojiko-san for the 3-month resub, Stegosaurus McCartney, and Michelle Butterfield for the 12-month resubs. Still blows my mind that we've been streaming for a year now. It's like a really surreal experience. I really appreciate all the people who show up on the regular. That's awesome. I'll try it one more time. Yeah, enjoy those emotes. Okay, we'll try one more time, just because we are here. It's actually perfect. We don't have any more credits after this. It is very much an arcade game that way.
Storm the Imperial Death Star and wipe out enemy fighters.
Lock S-balls in attack positions.
Three leaders standing by.
Very cool.
They're coming in. 3 marks at 210. Watch it, you've got one on your tail.
You have almost 50,000 points, and you can make a 50,000 point redemption. You know what? I'm so open. That's the thing. Once we reach our goal on Ko-fi, which is to get a streaming PC, we're 15% there. All the donations there, 100% of it goes to us. That's kind of why I'm pushing people more towards that than paying Twitch, because I am Canadian and Twitch takes 70% of all of the bits and subscriptions, and Ko-fi takes 0%, so a big difference there. But we've got 15% of our goal, where once we get a streaming PC, I'm going to be able to offer a whole bunch of really cool interactive channel point redeems, things that will include classic animation, include my drumming, and a few other interactive things. I'm really excited for it. So that'll be, if you have any ideas for 50,000K redeem, please let me know. I'm open to all suggestions as well. If there's something you want to see me play, or something that you think would be really cool. Because there's a few people that have like upwards of 450K right now. I think we can do this. Oh shoot. It was the tower, we just didn't take out all the towers. I bet Stego's got you beat by a lot, probably. Heck yeah. Did I make all my rewards 420? Recently, yeah, but I mean most of them were 420 and 42 for a long time. But I recently lowered the wheel spin cost to 420 instead of 1,000, just so more people can spin the wheel. I think what we'll probably do though is why don't we keep this space theme going? Let's see what people are playing. I think it could be really cool to, yeah, let's keep this sci-fi theme going. It looks like we've got a couple people streaming right now. I want to say thanks again to Two-Headed Squirrel for the raid, and to everyone that's been hanging out today. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you to Henny Blank for that gift sub. Thank you to Tojiko-san for the resub as well. You have a 1-minute plank redemption, but it requires you to go off camera and be silent for a minute. That's funny. No one ever chooses it. That's really funny. You know what? Let's go raid our good friend Grimbomb. He was one of the first streamers that I met when I first started the channel, and I think that'll be the right call. He's playing Pikmin, so he's also stuck in space. And our good friend Rathe V. Mori has been playing Pikmin 2. I've been really enjoying it. Pikmin 1 is a game that I've played. I haven't played the other ones. I played it a long time ago. I rented it a lot, but I never had the time to like really delve into it. And Pikmin 2 really opens things up, so I'm excited for that. Grimbomb's been a great supporter of the channel, and I think he's even lurking right now, which is pretty funny. So I'm gonna just shout him out. We're going to raid Grimbomb, and tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific, I'll be back here live finishing up Paper Mario. We'll be done with that. And then maybe we'll do some more retro roulette stuff. I'm thinking about starting a Nuzlocke challenge of a really cool Pokemon Game Boy Advance ROM hack called Pokemon GS Chronicles, which is just like Gen 2 remade on the GBA. So we'll probably be doing that this week. You can always catch me from 6 p.m. onward, and you can watch all my streams afterwards on YouTube. Thanks so much, everyone. I'll see you in Grimbomb's channel. And I'll see you in the next episode 10 of our Space and Alien